Okay, so for today, we are going to cover our agenda. Just checking the participants. Telecom Italia is here, Orange also, Dutch Telecom, I'm not sure, not yet. Telefonica, many participants. Vodafone, not sure yet. Okay. Ericsson, not yet. Nokia, NO-Uni. And so we have also external participant from SUSI, Canonical, and Control Plane. Did I miss someone? No? Okay, so I'll try to manage my different screen. Okay. So don't forget that our exchange are under the framework of the Linux Foundation policies. Our next technical steering committee will be the 17th of June. For today, so we will keep 40 minutes to manage the focus of today concerning the Sylva AI white paper. So Philippe is here with me to interact on this, and we will have time also to exchange what are our next steps we want to share together within Sylva. And just also to remind that next TSC we will have a focus animated on a working group 3 concerning feedback on the last security workshop, plus introducing what the outcomes on the EUCS, because they managed to describe some test case. I think Luis would be very happy with this, but all of us, all of us. So that's it, and we have our next governing board the 11th of June with some of the participants today of this TC will participate. I don't know if there are any governance topic we want to share today. We are limited in time, but we discuss with Yaril, so thank you Yaril for your support on the Easy CLA. We are doing some advanced tests. We are progressing on the usage of the CLA interface in LFX tooling. So thanks a lot, Yaril, on this. I don't know if you want to have a short comment on this, or if there are any other governance topic we want to cover. Yes, Yaril.
I thank you all for your patience. I've been meeting with our LFX support team, and we met with Guillaume and others yesterday to review the process for this. So we're going to work together on how to best roll this out for everyone, just to ensure that we are complying with the CLA. So if you have any questions, please reach out to any of us, but more information definitely to come.
Okay, many thanks. So concerning working group 1, Matthew.
Hi everyone, sorry I didn't have time to update, but I will do it. Just to tell you that, we are entering a feature freeze period, so it means that we stop introducing new feature in order to focus on stability for tagging 1.7 mid of June. We do have a few exceptions that are very mature and only require a few additional tests and reviews to get merged, but it's going to get merged in the coming day before the end of the week. So we are still on track to produce 1.7 by mid of June.
Okay, great news. So now switching to working group 2, Luis.
Okay, in our case, we can say that the validations, we have two more validated. One already report is available. The other, the Juniper CNR, will be very soon. So that will make 25 already validated. So we keep progressing. There's two more that they are scheduled. So we start prompt, the Mavenir one and the SETI one. So two more in the backlog that we are going to tackle. So potentially in 3 weeks, we will have 27 already. And there's another one in the backlog, the Okudu one. So we will start that once these are finished. This is about validation of the workloads, about validation of the flavors. As you know, we already validated the different flavors. The Red Hat one, so Archie and Canonical. Red Hat one is at 60% already. There's some features, some things that cannot be validated with Red Hat, and specifically one of them with a Canonical leader, which is the support for an Open Nebula, because the specific copy plugin was not incorporated in 1.5. So this will be revalidated once this is incorporated. And some of the features in Red Hat also are pending some functionality that is not actually in 1.5. So was in 1.5 for the basic flavor, but apparently there's additional work to be done for different flavors. So this will be revalidated when these features are incorporated in Sylva. But in the meantime, we are also starting the validation cycle for the requirements on version 1.6. There are not many new features in 1.6. There's only 7 new scripts or new tests that we need to validate for each one of the flavors. And 4 of them, we already have a script prepared. So we will start validating in the basic, the Archie2 flavor, the requirements against version 1.6. And we have still 3 requirements that we have not defined the scripts. Still, we are trying to fight about how to validate them, which is the support for OpenBOW. We don't really know how to validate this, and we are struggling with that. But we will contact you, Matthew, or someone in working group 1 or maybe in security group to see how to incorporate to a script or create a script to validate OpenBOW. So this is the thing. 2 more workloads validated, and we are already starting the flavor validation for Sylva version 1.6.
Okay, many thanks, Luis. Very clear. Working group 3, I think we have no representative today, correct? And next week, it's not this weekend, next week we will have a focus. Do we have a representative from Working Group 4 for today? No? Okay, so we are switching to Working Group 5, and we have Julie, and I don't know, I was, because I know there are many updates. Hello, Julie.
Yeah, hi. So I'll try to make this quick. Just a second. Just with my text back. Okay, so first, Sylva Summit and Open Source Summit Europe. So the Open Source Summit OSS will take place in October on the 7th and the 9th. So our strategy to maximize ecosystem reach is to lock in a half a day Sylva Summit on the afternoon of October 6th. And the summit will target new partners with a less technical business-oriented focus to drive adoption. So this is not like the Sylva Dev Day. And we are tracking a room for 40 people near the Prague Congress Center. And we need to align with Linux Foundation to collaborate with them closely to integrate Project Sylva heavily into the main communication of the Linux Foundation. Concerning the GitOps hackathon with Workgroup 6, we want to showcase live CNF deployment, GitOps pipelines, and stuff like that. So we need to look in the dates. So we want to do it in November. but I would need, I have asked the work group 6 to give me the date in June, end of June, so that I can start to organize it. And we need a venue. So Orange has volunteered to host the event at Orange Garden, but other partners may wish to submit counter proposals. So right now I can't tell you where we are going to do it. So I will launch a core planning committee in July, and I have a strict 3 months technical and logistical lock-in deadline. So please, I really need to have all information if you are in charge of the events beginning July, because the Linux Foundation has strict deadlines if we want to pay for the venue or stuff like that. So we need to be prepared. Concerning more marketing developments, so we've talked with Omdia recently, thanks to Philippe. And so we have visibility with them, so it's really good. We are still doing Sylva Dev Day amplification on LinkedIn, so please like and share. And concerning event branding, we are right now working on new kakemonos to be finalized and stuff like that. And concerning more press or ecosystem expansion, we are working with Whitepaper to showcase our new network function validation center in Latin America. So this is all for us, guys.
And we have 2 representatives from Whitepaper on the TSC today.
Okay,
so congratulations. Thanks a lot, Julie. Just to mention that Julie mentioned the Open Source Summit. The CFP will close the the 24th of June, so don't hesitate to submit Sylva CFP. If you want to notify Carlo and me if you have some CFP submitted, we will, of course, we will be glad to have a view on the Sylva topic that has been submitted. For information, in Orange, we will have one concerning sovereign cloud and how Sylva can be very useful to build bare metal as a service. And a second one we are studying, it's not confirmed yet. We are working with OpenAir interface to submit one on Duranta integration on the Sylva stack. So is there anyone who has ideas, or don't hesitate to share to your co-chairs or to ping the workgroup leader if you need support to submit a talk. Okay, it was for workgroup 5, and then workloads LCM with GitOps. Morgan?
Yes, so what did I put? I update, yeah, okay. So the minute of the previous meeting, so the presentation from Quemby and people working on Captain and Lifecycle Toolkit is available, and they provide also some video of the demo when they do some rollback based on the SLA issue. So it's interesting. It's here, and we spoke a lot on continue speaking about the hackathon mentioned by Julie. So today the main concern is the involvement of vendor. We can see that there is a global agreement on the fact we could do that. So the definition is still in progress. Julie sent a mail on the mailing list. I resend the mail today because the month of May is a bit complex to bootstrap things, but I hope I will get some feedback. I saw that DT already started describing a little bit one of the solutions that could be one of the topic of our joint development. I will complete also for launch soon. Regarding the date and the time, so I asked Swisscom to position, because the CNTF will take place end of November in Bern, so it's a yearly event. There are a lot of people, especially Telia Sonera and KPN and other actors that are coming there. So I asked Joshua what is his view on that, because as mentioned by Julie, we could be volunteer for organizing something in Paris, but if we can also do that in merge of CNTF, why not? So to be discussed with Swisscom, what they think about that, and fully understand that the what, the where, the when must be defined before end of June. So we are already beginning of June, so it will be interesting. But the next session is planned on the 18th of July. I hope I will get some feedback by mail or by Slack before, and in order to be able to give all the elements to Julie. And for the next, so I will continue on the hackathon. And for the next session, we will have a demo of Config Hub. So it's an interesting concept, and one of the father of Flux and GitOps in general, who create this company with other great guys. So it was introduced by Philippe during KubeCon. So he will share the concept of Config Hub with working group 6. And we also start mirroring the first unit, the first component from the Orange GitOps tooling zone into Sylva Canopy subgroup. So I'm trying to work on creating unit in order to simplify the deployment of this component through GitOps recipe on any workload cluster. So work is in progress. I have lots of things to read and to understand, but yeah, it has been initiated already. And I encourage also the other members of the working group 6 to use this Canopy subgroup to expose joint development related to working group 6.
I think we should have, in the coming weeks or months, a deep dive during the TSC on Canopy. Or what is the ambition, etc. What is the scope, if you do agree. If you think it's relevant?
Yeah, probably, because yeah, the name is nice, but it does not mean lots of things for everybody on the bridge. So sure, we could prepare something. I would like to finalize at least a demo unit to be able to share that. But yeah, beginning of summer we can plan something probably.
And it rings the bells with exchange we had with Whitestack last year, so I think he can help some other companies. Is there any question globally on every working group? Because I think we will have no feedback on working group 7, sorry, for today. No? Any question? No? Okay, so my intention was to have 20 minutes on the regular agenda, so it has been covered. So I will let the floor to Philippe. So first 20 minutes to have a feedback on the AI white paper, and then 10 minutes about discussing how we can bootstrap this ambition within Sylva. Thank you, Philippe.
Okay, I think you can hear me okay? Can you hear me okay or not?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
I will can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. I'm sharing because I have multiple things to share with you. So thank you for having me. I'm very delighted to have the opportunity to double click on the Sylva and AI topic that we basically make it happen during the KubeCon week in Amsterdam under the strong, I would say, sponsorship of our friend Arpit. Just want to bring the context. This white paper and what I'm going to show you today is really rooted into what we are doing within the governing board, because on the governing board, 2 of our 3 missions are to work on the long-term strategy. One hand, on the second hand, is to basically try to drive the ecosystem growth and to try to onboard as much as we can partners that could be relevant in what we want to build up. Basically, when we are considering all the amazing job that have been done on the Sylva scope, I would say that not taking into account AI was certainly a big mistake, and it was the objective of the white paper that have been released right now, I would say since 6 or 7 weeks, and I will give you here some interesting trends. So. First of all, the slide that I'm showing right now on the screen is the one that I used during the Sylva Developer Day if you remember well, I jumped into an Uber to join an Etsy conference, and this is what I presented during the Etsy conference. So the idea is basically really about saying that you all know the transformation that is going to happen right now in our network ecosystem, and the transformation is driven by two converging forces. The first one is the maturation, even if it's not done on the cloud native telco infra, and for me, Sylva is a top illustration of what's happening. And on the other hand, we have the rapid evolution of AI. And one of the core challenges we are having is to keep back and push back the fragmentation that we have in the past on the infrastructure layer, and to be sure that it's not happening on the AI part. And here, the basic thesis of the white paper that basically have been reviewed by up to 24 people is to say that Sylva could be a very interesting substrate to run AI features into our network function stack. And here, I think it's very important to double click on this, because the idea is never no way to be in competition with the hyperscaler or whatever technological vendors. The reality is that we have a bunch of our network functions that are far way too sensitive, critical, you name it, to have the idea of just being connected with, I would say, AI capabilities coming from mainstream technology partner on running on the cloud. So the idea is not, I would say, or, but more and to understand that even if, I don't know, 80 to 90% of whatever will run on the cloud for a very interesting purpose, it will always remain a part of our network function running on something that is private. And it's where exactly the idea has raised to say that with all that we build up with Sylva, intent-based, GitOps-based, highly distributed, with performance rooted in what we did, that is the perfect substrate to serve as, I would say, a ground station to manage the trajectory, the path toward AI and agentic. In the white paper, basically, I really wanted to touch on very important challenges that we are all facing to get out the MVP or the POC trap and to reach production. And they are just named here, and I'm sure that you read it in the white paper, but just to share that the kind of challenges that we have to tackle are okay technical, but most of are really challenges that are rooted into operational things. On the reason why today we think that the AI, that Sylva could be the AI ready substrate, it's because we could perfectly imagine to have Sylva basically serving and training model. We have a very interesting part of the telemetry that need to be complemented, but it will be a part of what I want to advocate later on. And something that for me is extremely important is about the GitOps workflow, because we will never jump into a greenfield environment, meaning we will wake up on one morning and everything will be agentic. The reality, and you know it better than me, is that we have layered historical implementation where we need to keep the coherency. And if we have, I would say, let's say, VM-based and CNF-based network function running on one side and agentic on the other side, if the agentic system have a way to mitigate and to trigger back the action on the network differently than what is on the brownfield ecosystem, we won't be able to manage the coherency and the consistency at operational level, at least, but much more broader. And it's something that for me is very, very important. The GitOps that is rooted in the DNA of the core of Sylva Core need to be also present for network function consistency and coherency rooted on the AI part. And let's say we could have AI agents that are able to read and write, and we understand that some are unable to read and others are able to do action on the network. For the ones that have the right ability, if we get out the GitOps process, we will have serious problem. And the idea is really to keep the GitOps workflow even rooted on the AI part, to be sure that we keep the consistency and the coherency. And one of the other value of Sylva and the distributed nature and the way we are able to bootstrap and manage distributed manner clusters up to the edge is to have the potential to manage inferences closer to data source and to where we could have computation need, like real-time AI at the run and at the far edge level. So what we did in the document is basically to identify why we believe that Sylva is a strong foundation on the infrastructure, on the cloud platform, on the automation, and on the observability part. And what we tried also to manage is to realize that if we want to get into the AI and agentic AI runtime, we need to set up, to define, design, and set up complementary additional architectural components that are today totally out of the scope of Sylva, and it's normal because it's no more Sylva core, and that are much more related to inference runtime and in the context of isolation, the need for tooling integration, and the need for inference management, inference model serving, and intelligence routing. And the layer that for me is extremely critical about the guardrails and the safety. So it's basically a very, very, very 10,000 miles away fit view of what is missing, but the idea was really to emphasize on where we should spend time as a community to complement on Sylva core if we want to bring AI and agentic AI capability to what we build up to now. And if we want to just look at the full stack vision, it could look like something like what is depicted here with Sylva core and the Sylva agentic AI part. And here, what is for me very important is to insist on that one of the important missing part that we are having today on the Sylva is the distributed traces and the open telemetry one. So in terms of priority, I think that what could be interesting is to work on those three layers. We need to complement the observability. We need to manage the interaction between the model and the real-time environment where the network functions are living. And there is also the question of serving and model reasoning, I would say, to make the ML, the GenAI or the agentic AI happening. So it's basically what we shared up in the white paper. Something that is extremely interesting is that first, coming from Linux Foundation networking, Jill, who is managing with Julie the working group 6 about communication and so on, told us that the level of engagement in terms of downloading and reading and so on was above average the kind of the similar kind of documents that are released by Linux Foundation networking, meaning that we have a lot of people who read it. And a few weeks after, what happened is that we got totally out of the Sylva partner ecosystem, newcomers who raised their hand saying, it's very interesting what is in this white paper because it's exactly the long-term strategy we want to have for our product, for our platform, for our solution. And it could be interesting to scratch the surface if Sylva could be, I would say, a substrate for deploying our stack and to envision basically what could be shared up and build up within this community. First stage. Second stage, we got software vendor that knock on the door saying we develop MCP feature for the interaction and integration to the stack, and we have no value to keep it on our side. We think that it's important to have it on the open source ecosystem, and we believe that Sylva is the best place to open source our MCP component and our MCP proposition. And last week, if I'm managing reverse time, like Julie said, we got a very interesting discussion with Ondia, and in particular a lady called Interpret Core. And Interpret, that is principal analyst at Ondia, basically read very carefully the white paper, and she found it very interesting and visionary. And basically, we got 45 interview sessions with her, and I'm just sharing lively the paper that she wrote and that will be published by Friday. So it means that we will have even more noise on this one. And the last contribution that I'm sharing with you totally openly is that, and I know that we got people from Suzy on the call, but I've got an official position regarding the white paper given by Gary McKenzie, who is running the telco business, and Rhys Oxenham, who is the head of AI at Suzy, and they did an amazing job. They read all the documents and they write up all along this email, basically confirming that what is in the white paper is exactly aligned with the long-term strategy that Suzy is building up and on their side. And what is very interesting is that they are basically point by point and I would say chapter by chapter agreeing what is written and just complementing and adding some part that could be interesting to take into account. So I will pause there because I think I'm getting very close to my 10 minutes. But what is important right now? With the white paper, the idea was to bring an intent to the community. I think that we reached the target about the intent, and now we have multiple, I would say, companies that are raising their hands, validating that what we wrote is valid, visionary, and it's echoed by analysts. So now what could be interesting, and that's the reason why Guillaume proposed this discussion, is to see how we can move forward. If I may, and it's up you guys, the expert of the domain, but I think that we need to have a conversation around open telemetry, because it's definitively, according to me, something that is missing, perhaps not critical 100% right now, but it's missing on the stack. And then something that could be interesting is to perhaps bootstrap a kind of working group where we could start first by having some high-level design, logical high-level design, open source integration based integration design, because honestly the idea is not to do rocket science. The idea is really to try to translate the intent that is here on high level, I would say, module within the different layer, and with which kind of open source component we can match, and then find if there is a path and interest for the community or for some of the members to, I would say, take into account the first module integration on top of the Sylva core. But I think that saying we have a Sylva core that is definitively our DNA and our substrate, and say that we are able on this substrate to bring, if you want, some capabilities to make AI, GenAI, and runtime or inference able, I think it's something that could be very valuable for our community. But now it's up to you to react and to give your feedback. So I will pause there, and it's up to you.
Many thanks, Philippe. So before having a more roundtable on the next step, I just want to give you opportunity for the members around the table. Not some have not read yet the white paper, so I've shared the link, of course. So is there any clarifications first before brainstorming, I want to say, on the next step? Is there any clarification question to Philippe? Is it crystal clear? I know that Carlo read the white paper, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure we'll ask questions.
Honestly, I think that we have half of the people that are here that have been reviewer of the document, so I'm not so surprised to not having so much clarification asked, but we have half of the people that did not read it, so...
Yeah. So the white paper, basically, you mentioned is part of the vision. You propose a step with working together on high-level view. So here it's more defined, more precisely what could be the scope of Sylva. And then I want to say we can discuss in the second stage how we will organize this in terms of work group, different work group. But I think these 3 steps are important. So it's my feedback. So yeah, definitely if I can support organizing I don't know a workshop of 2 hours on this high-level design. So it's just one idea to bootstrap this. Perhaps Matthew, you can also react on the OpenTelemetry part. But yeah, who wants to react on this proposal and what is the vision? We have Suzy feedback, but we have also Whitestack and Canonical also participating today, so there are some other feedback.
If I may, on Canonical side, I got a very interesting synchro meeting last week with Simon, and he told me that he had a discussion with Cédric Giroux, that is the head of product of Canonical, and they plan to do a similar feedback than what you did about the document coming from Canonical. So I think it would be very interesting because complementary and could, I would say, enrich the content of a potential workshop to come.
Okay. So, are you interested that Sylva is working on this? Question from Whitestack. So the question was, so it was, where can we get the white paper from? So yeah,
I'm showing it right now. So you need to go to the Sylva project. Okay, then you go to the on the main web page. You go to news and event. Then you go to reports, and when you are in reports, it's this one. So it's AI and the Sylva project ecosystem, and then you can download the report just here.
And Mark shared the link to the PDF directly.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay. Other comments? And again, is it a topic we need to manage in Sylva? Is it a good idea or not? I would like to have some feedback first on this important question. Carlo, you are on mute. We can hear you now. Okay.
From my point of view, I think is very interesting. Most of the use case you described in the white paper are scenarios that we are discussing internally, and I think it's a good idea to find a moment to discuss a high-level view on how to introduce this capability inside Sylva. In particular, I agree with you, Philippe, that the integration of tools to collect, to monitor data, to collect information about the behavior of the stack, all the OpenTelemetry tools is fundamental, because this is one of the first things that when we try to propose internally to the engineering group the use of the stack, one of the first things that he asks us is, okay, interesting, but how you monitor it, which kind of tools do you have, how you collect data. And so I think it's really an important part to be integrated in the stack.
Thank you, Carlo. Many thanks, Carlo. Yeah. Is there any other feedback? Luis, is it something that in Telefonica?
Yeah, but something very, very quick. I think is very important this because in the ecosystem of AI, there's two important things. One is how the infra is ready for AI, and the other side, how the infra can make use of AI. And I think this is covering how the infra, part of the infra, at least Sylva is a telco cloud reference, telco cloud stack for the infra that is needed for AI. So it's very important to highlight this. And also how Sylva can benefit itself of AI. So I think this whitepaper comes at the right time to cover that.
Yeah, and Luis, I'm not sure that all the community is aware that you are now also managing AI activities within Telefonica. So your point of view is valuable in that sense. If we are doing this in Sylva, will it help you in the future?
Yeah, yes, of course. We will try. We will follow this close, of course. Something we are very interested into all this.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Luis, on this. Is there any other question? So, to sum up, we took the point with OpenTelemetry. Matthew, I don't know if it's something we have already investigated at our level, but I know that we are in touch with other teams that implemented it. So, yeah, if you want to comment.
Yeah, no, we didn't formally open that topic yet, but we know we have to make our observability stack to make it evolving toward the adoption of OpenTelemetry. So we think about it. We do have some experts on Orange side, not directly involved into Sylva, but we have some experts we can rely on. So we are starting discussing with them. But of course, any help will be appreciated on that coming from the Sylva community.
So, if I can propose to organize this workshop on the high-level design. We mentioned that OpenTelemetry is a must-have. So, can we consider that it's a prerequisite and we manage it in a separate stream, or do we want to have what kind of workshop do we want? Only on managing the different layer. You mentioned the cloud platform layer requested. I think it was on your slide. Yeah, just the slide before. The one before. You have and this one you have a cloud platform. So do we want to have this workshop focusing on this cloud platform layer? So Sylva can bring some elements on this. We already start on the infrastructure, very basic infrastructure layer. We can do more, but what can be the next step? Is it okay to have a high-level workshop specifically on design on the cloud platform layer? Is it something that is valuable?
I think so. I think so, and because we need to manage I would say workshop layer per layer. Yes, I think we need to double click on, because if we are not able to serve model and to manage inference, there is no AI story within the Sylva ecosystem. So it's how we can make happen these inferences.
Okay. So if we are all aligned with this, I will start this, and then we will discuss after in the coming TSC how we want to structure this activity. It's not only about having a good visio architect design the DNA of Sylva. It's having code and solution and components. So okay.
And honestly, I'm pretty sure that in every of the companies that are on the call, we have colleagues that are building up on top of cloud native data operates, not Sylva-based architecture, but already very, I would say, AI ready or AI able stack. So honestly, I think it's not rocket science. We could go very quick to something where we could describe on top of Sylva core. But I think that what is important in what you said, Guillaume, is that we need to really position what is the scope of the Sylva core and what we need to have on the Sylva on the Sylva, just to have a proper, I would say, boundaries that need to be set to be sure that at 100% of the time we are able to still make our NF deployment running. Not saying that the AI is a cherry on the cake, but we need to isolate the core of what we need to make our NF deploy a reality. And then on top, where is the border to which on top we start to build up the AI part? And I think it's what we need to have on this first workshop.
Okay. Any additional reaction? Okay. So many thanks, Philippe, for this focus for today. I will share your slide in PDF in the minutes of this TSC. And our next TSC will be animated by Carlo, and the focus will be on security work group. So thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, bye.